Okay.
You'll be fine. All right.
Are you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Readers. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you finally the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bunsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and
Hello. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Leadership Platform. My name is Samuel Ayim of CTL Africa Leadership, and I'm excited, as always, to be with you this evening because it is the time of the week, Saturday, 7 p.m., when we get the opportunity to gather around the table to learn, to grow, and to energize one another. So I want to thank all of you who are connected already and encourage you to go ahead and share the links with your friends, with your colleagues, and let them come and learn with us. We are here on the platform to learn leadership, to learn how to lead ourselves, how to lead others, how to lead teams, and how to lead our institutions. So this evening, we invite you to sit down, get ready. If you are connected, please go ahead and introduce yourself. Just say hello to all of us, whether you are on Facebook, whether you are on LinkedIn, whether you are on YouTube, whichever platform you're connecting from, go ahead and introduce yourself. Just tell us your name and where you are connecting from, and we will be excited to introduce you to the whole wide world. We also encourage you to like our Facebook, to like our pages, to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any sessions. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. This evening, we're going to have an interesting learning from one of our own who is not a stranger, who is a co-host on the platform, and is going to guide us. She will join us very, very soon. We're going to study how to lead in transitions. Life is full of stages. There is a time, the scriptures say there's a time for everything under the sun, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to love, a time to hate. There are many, many other things, a time to sow, a time to plant, a time to reap, and many events happen in our lives. And when we are born, we crawl, we go to school, we move to different classes, then we finish, then we get a job, then we look for a partner, we get children, then we grow up, have children, and children leave the home, and you get back to your original base. You get old, and you get to a point where you're not able to work again, and you sit home with the grandchildren, and there's so many things happening in our lives. We get happy moments, we get dull moments, we get terrible moments, and we get brilliant moments. We go high and we come low. Life is full of stages and transitions. How do you navigate all these situations? How do you go through these situations without not being overly bruised or not being overly complacent, and still holding your own and leading yourself, leading others, and leading the institutions and others that you lead? This is an important subject, and we trust that we are going to sit and learn. Right. So I have Abanyi Leambe. He says, hi, everyone. Joseph is joining us all the way from Makodi in Nigeria. So Joseph, you're welcome. Benue State in Nigeria, we welcome you. We have Joseph Ofosu is here. Ofosu is following conversations on YouTube, and he says he's delighted to be with us. Great. I know that many of you who join don't introduce yourself, but it is always our pleasure to introduce you to the whole wide world. So please tell us where you are connecting from, and we will be happy to introduce you. And at this point, without further ado, I'm going to invite our speaker for this evening. Our speaker for this evening is Sarah Jessie Appiah, an accomplished professional, currently a certified coach by Maxwell, certified by the International Coaching Federation, certified by Marshall Goldsmith, and with many, 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 many more certifications in coaching and leadership. She has been leading for many years through the United Nations, where she's currently also, even though she's left, she's doing a lot of work for a lot of UN. Sarah is somebody who is very, very resourceful. She loves to help people. She loves to support and to give of herself, give of her resources to many, 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 many more people. Sarah has a life that typifies what we are going to learn today, and I'm sure that she'll probably share part of her story with us. She's gone through different difficult phases, but she's still standing. If she tells you where she is now, you will not believe. Thank you very much, Sarah, for always coming to the leadership platform. We know there's so many things happening and you have a lot to do, but you squeeze the time last minute even to come to the platform. This shows your commitment to sharing with people who are willing to learn. So you are welcome to your own platform,
Thank
the
you so
leadership
much.
platform. It's yours, Sarah. How are you?
I am good, thank you. And let me know whether you can hear noise from the background because I'm in a place that is not too quiet. If there is noise, that let me know.
People are partying. People are
I know.
partying, and you are leaving the party to come and share with us. But we can't hear. We are fine. I
Okay.
can see Foster Bediakon is Badafu is also here from Kumasi. Brenda Afari Semevo is also here from Accra. And Nanaba Aqua Kwejri is here also. Good evening, she says to all of us. All right. So Sarah, how is Geneva? How is the weather? How are you feeling this evening?
Oh, I'm so happy to be here on the platform, even though I am very, very tied up. I've carved out this time to be with all of you, and the weather is beautiful. It's still summer, so I cannot complain.
Oh, all right. Okay, so we'll keep the sun here. When you go into the winter, we'll send some more to you. All
Okay,
right. Good. Sarah, I think we'll give you the platform to share with us what you have, and later on we'll come back and discuss. So the platform is yours. Take us away.
thank you, Sam, and thank you to all of you. I guess if I can have my slides up, great. I hope I'll be able to see. I have a little bit of challenge with my eyes. This is not the first one, so let's see whether I can navigate. Yeah, there we go. Can we go back a little bit? Great. So the topic as Uncle Sam said, is we're going to talk today about leadership in transition, how we can navigate from setbacks and uncertainty to set up and breakthroughs. On this journey, we will see how resilience, clarity, and purposeful energy can help us face life's greatest challenge. And as you know, my name is Sarah Jessie Appiah, and I am a regular participant and sometimes host on this platform. So let's go on to the next slide. Let me see whether I can navigate it from my side. If not, Gideon, please help me. Go to the next slide. Great. So our time together today, I will share my story as Uncle Sam did mention, and I call that the equation of life. This is a personal story from a heart failure that I had and to now leading fully from my heart as well. And then we will move on to why transitions matter, how we can ground our understanding in social sciences and even health science. From there, we will move on to how we can accelerate our transitions. And I will be sharing from something that I learned from Tony Robbins and other thought leaders, how I use them as my mentors to navigate the season that I did find myself in. And using Einstein's framework of this E energy equals mass and accelerated version of light squared, I have developed a leadership framework where we can use that to help us also navigate change with purpose. Last but not but least, I will invite you to share your personal reflections so that you can also identify how you can lead during periods of transition. I hope With this, we can move on and dive deep into what I need to share. So at the end of this session, what I'm hoping that you will take away is the fact that you will understand why transitions are central to leadership and to life. Also, for us to gain practical tools to navigate transitions with energy and purpose. Thirdly, discover what I'm calling the EMC leadership equation framework. And last but not the least, have tools to reflect on your own transitions and identify how you can lead. So let's move to the next and let's get started. So, my story right now, my heart is operating at 30%. But then I am operating personally in my leadership journey, in my work, at 100% capacity. And sometimes I can even say more. I myself find it amazing that when my heart was working at 100%, I wasn't able to be operating at this level that I find myself. So, what happened when I was told that my heart can only operate at 30%? That was getting to 5 years ago. Come November this year, it will be 5 years. So when I got that news, I had to make a choice. And what comes to mind was a quote from Viktor Franklin, which we all know, saying, between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space lies our response. We have a choice whether we go left or we go right. And for me, there were two things that I had to choose between: to see my life as diminished, and that setback is so filled with uncertainty. How can I operate at that level? How can I live? How can I function? Or the other side of the coin is to see it as a setup for breakthroughs and transformation. And that is what I believe I did. Can we move to the next slide, please? So with this change has come. I found that either this change that has been thrust upon me, how do I manage it? Is it this change that I have to manage, or is it something else? And that is why I want us to understand the difference between change and transition. What was thrust upon me was change in my body, but it's from external. It was a situation that was inevitable because my body had undergone a change. Okay, so what I thought was that this is something that has happened to me, and it can happen to all of us. Illness can befall any one of us, and we don't have control over it. It is beyond us. However, transition, if we define it, is really internal. It is psychological. It is intentional. It's something that happens through us. And our response to adapt to that change is what transition really is. And I love this quote by William Bridges, who is a social scientist that I've been following for the past year to see how he has handled transitions. And he says, it isn't the changes that do you in, it's the transitions. So there is a level of letting go. There is a level of navigating that new or neutral zone that you find yourself, and the uncertainty, the setbacks, and your intention to embrace and have a new beginning. So let's see how I did it. Let's move to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is where, no, let's go back. Thank you very much. This is where I recall that most of the time, sometimes some will call me and say, Sarah, what is your energy level today? And I must confess that for the first 2-3 years, the energy level that I had was very, very low. But then I developed this equation, which most of you who are scientists or who are physicians and physicists really are very familiar. This is something that we learned in school. But then I applied it to leadership, saying Einstein says that energy produces mass. And when mass disintegrates, it goes back to energy. So it's really interchangeable. So, how could I use this in my situation? How can I transform the force that I have within me to be able to create something for my leadership, for my life? And what I found was that the mass, as far as I was concerned, were my core values, which we all do have. We all have core values, my experiences, how I was going to develop resilience to move through the challenges and the struggles. One thing that I knew was that I had clarity. By all means, I said, if I have 30%, I have more than enough. It's not 0%. So that was really clear to me that I had something in hand that I can work with. And my focus was to do everything within my power with the support system that I had, with the prayers from most of you on this platform, to navigate the uncertainties that faced. And then also, what really helped me was developing the courage. The courage and the clarity was what gave me the force to produce the energy that I needed to really create something new. So, though my heart was running at 30%, my life and leadership ran at 100% or even more because of that clarity and courage that multiplied when I squared it, really gave me the momentum to move on. So let's move to the next slide, and I will go deeper into this. So, why does transitions matter? And what are the sciences telling us? I did a little bit of research, and Shamaz in 1999 did say that illness is critical to life transitions. And we need to move beyond physical symptoms. First, we should have a shift in our identity. And I'll talk a little bit more later about how we can shift or recognize the shifts that we have in our identity to face challenges when it comes to illnesses. And I would like to relate even illness to that of an organization or even your business. Sometimes the business is failing. There are symptoms that you see, and there needs to be a shift. What are some of the changes that may occur? For example, most of us, we all did experience COVID, right? During the COVID season, most people they have to be in physical spaces to really perform the services or products that they have, could not do so. And we will even have on LIVE2LEAD one lady, Nora Bannerman, who will be attending LIVE2LEAD, and I will encourage all of you to attend, how she was able to shift what her organization or her business was doing and still thrive, changing the identity of the business, how they did business, looking at the needs all the times that she found herself in, to be able to pivot to ensure that she moved beyond the COVID season and to thrive. So let's move to the second one that I call the life course. No, like, let's go back. Yeah, the life course theory. And that says that socially defined stages are some of the things in life when transition happen. As Uncle Sam said in the beginning, we grow from children to teenagers and then to adulthood, and then we do retire, and then we go back to the third phase of our lives. And eventually we do exit this world. So these are some of the stages that we have in life. So my question to you is, you as a leader, are you in the nascent stages of your leadership where growth has just started? Are you in your middle career where you may be an adult? Or are you getting towards retirement and you have to have an exit plan? That is one of the life course theories in social science. And last but not the least, if we look even at our developmental stages, Erickson in 1950, this says that each stage in our lives builds on the last. You start as a child, you grow slowly into an adolescent, and you get into the teenage, and then you get into young adults, then you do get into an adult, you get married, all that leads from one stage to the other. And as you go along, your identity will be shaped by the crisis you go through, by the different life stages, and also this also psychologically affects you. You do grow to that. So when we look at even the sciences, all the three areas that I have just shared with you agree to the fact that transitions are the very structure of life. How we navigate it will shape our identity, our leadership, and eventually the legacy that we leave. And I can even relate that if we want to look at it deeply, even at nature. I live in this part of the world where you see seasons that come. We are now in summer. We'll be going into autumn. Autumn follows summer. From autumn, we have winter. And from winter, we do come back to summer. So with all these seasons, it can help us or inform us as leaders and even as organizations or businesses to see which season we are in. And the season gives us data as to what we need to do, what decisions we have to take so that whatever we are doing can be optimal. Let's move to the next slide, and I will share with you what I did, the season that I found myself in. I found myself in the season, I will say winter, because in winter, nothing grows. Everything is dormant. However, as a leader, and even me being in that recovery period, there were things that I could do. I just did not sit, I just did not lie in my bed saying, oh, poor me, whatever. It wasn't just physical. I needed to work on my emotion. I needed to work on my spiritual life. I needed to work on my mental well being. And of course, what I realized that I just could not do it alone. And I needed to seek help, wisdom from others. So one of the ways that I did was attending seminars and conferences, not in person because I could not move very much, but I used online programs to educate myself, research, and see how I can develop my mental fitness. So I took a course that was called Positive Intelligence, which really helped me. It was a program that up till today, I am still using. I did also, if time permitted, join the leadership platform, listened to, all the speakers. The days that I could not listen, the week that I could not join, I went back online to listen to the recordings. And all this kept my mental and emotional level quite high. And whilst I was doing this really gave me some sort of energy that I needed to really keep on going, making sure that I was recovering to keep my sanity. And this helped me really to transform this setback and uncertainty that I was feeling into a setup. So if you look on this slide, I have just put, we don't have to learn everything the hard way. We need to learn from others because that compresses the years of struggle into hours of insight. And I did gain a lot of insight when I did that. And this is one of the reasons why I want to link that to why I am collaborating with other coaches and leaders, and Uncle Sam in particular, in committing to bring to you Live to Lead, where we do gather world-class speakers all in one place, in one day, where you can accelerate your own transition, your own leadership, your own learning, your own growth. So as I speak, if you have not even thought about signing up for Live to Lead, just look at my journey, how I was able to gain more insight by joining such conferences and seminars to really help me accelerate and guard my sanity and mental well being, which in the end has really even helped me to propel my business to higher states than before my incident of heart failure. Okay, so let's move on, where I will share also the next slide, please. Okay, so what are some of the lessons that I found? Number one, I've already talked about it, saying that we do have seasons and we need to determine which season we are in. When it happened, I saw it was winter. It was winter for me. And the opportunities I found was really learning and honing my skill as a coach and as a business person. What I saw, I just looked at my life. I did, how do I call it? I did an inventory of my life. This crisis that I had was not the only life-threatening crisis that I've had. I've had other health issues, but this one was the major one. And I did see patterns that every time that I have a crisis, even when I lost most of my family members, what I did, and it helped me, was to go to learning, to really educating myself on the subject itself. And this pattern was even what happened in this last crisis that I have. So there are patterns, just like there are seasons when you have to do so. But then once you do so, From winter, I had to move into spring, where I had to sow into lives, where I had to coach other people, walk alongside them when I felt better. That was the springtime for me. And in autumn, that's when we do harvest. We do harvest what we have nurtured from spring through summer and then really gain the profits. The harvest time brings in profit, and then you do go back into a dormant period. So, what is the season that you find yourself in? This is a pattern that will shape your leadership when you take this as a lesson and as a tool. We did talk about energy and before, and energy that I found was very key to me. And even right now, when I am coaching my clients, I do check in with them what is their energy level. So, right now, as we speak, it's Saturday night, you've had a long week. What is your energy level? One being low, 10 being very high. Where is your energy level? Once you know your energy level, you know what you need to do, whether you need to accelerate or you need to decelerate. Because as leaders, our energy is contagious. Imagine yourself getting into the office, you being in a bad mood. I mean, people who follow you already say, oh, don't go near her or him. Today he's in a bad mood. And if you go, you have very negative rain coming on you. So people will avoid you, right? So checking your energy level is everything. And as I had already shared with you, energy is mass and vice versa. It is everything. So your leadership presence needs to begin with your energetic presence. So, as leaders, let's guard very seriously our energy. When it's low, don't go into meetings. When it's high, this is where you are able to inspire and you are able to bring along and share the vision that people will catch and move on. The third lessons that I did learn was breakthrough happens in transitions. And I can even really see this when there is a breakthrough when you are coaching a client. The light bulb just goes up, and that is when the shift happens. The energy changes. So, yes, the change will come, but then how do you help your client to move on from that insight into action? Because when change comes, yes, it is automatic, but unless it's followed by action, progress will not take place. Also, as coaches and as facilitators and leaders, one thing that is really key for us is listening, the skill of listening, and listening to the words and the language that people speak. I will remember that some of my clients, when they come, oh, I should be doing that, I should be doing that, I should. And I ask, who said you should? The language determines that this is a rule or it's a belief system that the person has been stuck into because they want to measure up to somebody's expectation. So how do we move from should to must? And for me, in my journey, my shoulds became my must. This is what I must do. I need to walk every day. I need to eat in a healthy way. My speech should be wholesome and it should not be negatively focused. The neutral zone, yes, that's the third point, is very uncomfortable. I mean, you don't have the energy, but you need to get up and walk. You don't have the energy, you need to go about your daily duties. You don't have the energy, you need to see doctors. You don't have the energy, you need to do exercises. It was uncomfortable. But it is in this zone that we grow. It is essential that we press on. Can we move to the next slide, please? Okay, so there are three key things that when I did attend one of Tony Robbins' seminar, that really struck a chord with me. And he did share, and this is something that I do almost all the time, the three S's that he calls: the state, the story, and the strategy. Most of the time, what we fail to, or what we do most of the time, is we just focus on the how. The how is the strategy, you know. And what I realized during my journey was that when I did not have the energy, the how could not come into force. The how, I could not implement that. So my energy and my emotional posture was really key. What is my mental state? Is it something that will move me into motion? Is it something that will keep me stuck? Because where your focus is, energy flows. And that was key number one for me. My energy level, my emotions. Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling angry? Yes, I was feeling angry at one point because why? The doctors that misdiagnosed me, and that was why I ended up with this situation. I had to deal with those emotions. Should I turn it, or rather, I did transform it from a negative emotion to a positive emotion, in the sense that, you know what? I said, I need to live, I need to get well so I can go back to these doctors, tell them what may be wrong so that another person may not have what befell me going through the same process. So that negative energy was turned into a positive one that propelled me to really do everything that I needed to get well. Another thing that we have to look at is stories. What stories are we telling ourselves? We talk to ourselves a lot. This is when I was doing the study on the positive intelligence. We did see that we have this situation where we are always judging ourselves, saying that I am not good enough, or I am not strong enough, my heart is only 30%, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So I really did check my belief system, saying that yes, it's 30%, but it's better than 0%. 0%, I will not be here. But I have 30%, so it's a lot compared to 0%. So that is how I was able to get a new story. What I want to challenge all of you is, at the moment, what stories are you telling yourself? Is your business failing, or is it an opportunity to pivot to another need that is in the client's needs, the clients that you serve? What can you do with whatever you have? Do you have to create a new business? Do you have to maybe move somebody from a position to do something else that will bring you more returns? What stories are you telling yourself? Let's just look at, let's say, the negative story. How can you reframe it into a positive one? this is once you have these two aligned, the state, the mental state and the emotions aligned, then the strategy can flow. So these are the skills, or these are the steps that we can take to make sure that we move from a low state of energy to a higher energy. This will help the strategy to work better. So change your state and the story first, and then effective strategy will naturally flow. Can I move to the next slide, please? And I did mention identity before. When you are going through transitions, your old identity, the old Sarah who could do everything without thinking about her energy level, can just get up and do it. But with a new Sarah, I need to take on a new identity. It was hard. I had to be a warrior. So we do have archetypes. And this is what I also did learn from both Shazad and Tony, saying that you need to be a warrior. Because I had to have courage to face the fact that what I had before was gone. I needed to make tough decisions. There were things I cannot do. I had to be okay with it and see what I could do with what I had. And also, I needed to be creative. So that is the magicians. The magicians create things. The archetype of the magicians is that you create things to reframe. You see something, a magician will have something in his or her hand, and he transforms it or creates something different new. So what are the things that I could reinvent? What are the possibilities that I see? For example, I saw that just coaching one-on-one, having one-on-one clients was a bit tiresome for me, and really drained my energy. So I looked into the coaching sphere, for example, and I said, okay, so why don't I start coaching teams? Because if I coach teams, instead of just spending 1 hour for one person with teams, I will be able to maybe impact 12 people. And I put 12 as a number because beyond that, my energy level was very low. So the possibility of coaching teams led me to train as a systemic team coach, which I am happy to say that 3 months ago, I did get my certification. So I looked around, and as a musician, this is what I created for myself to make sure that my business thrive. And the third one is the lover, bringing empathy to guide others through uncertainty and fear. Right now, most of the clients that I work with the transition of the US government, where US aid has been disbanded, a lot of people on our continent and most organizations had support and funding from US aid. Most people are out of business, out of work. There is a lot of fear, and most of my clients are in this category. So, using this archetype of a lover and really bringing the empathy to guide them is the archetype that I use most of the time in these past, I will say, past 7 months. Then the sage. The sage is the one that brings wisdom and perspective to navigate complexity. And the sage always see meaning in what is happening. The sage is able to see, even if things look negative, get out the 10% that is positive and act upon it. And this is some of the tenets of positive intelligence, where I will be using most of my right brain where the sage resides. And this is a study or a topic for another time. However, there are so many archetypes, but these are the ones that I have found myself using from what I learned from some of my mentors. One thing that I will say is that as a coach or as a business person or a leader, I do not stay in just one of the archetypes. I really flex or I navigate because you cannot just stay in one dependent on the situation that you find yourself in. It's a mixture that you do navigate back and forth. So as a leader, you find yourself leading in or putting on different archetypes in your dealings. And it also depends upon the seasons and the need. So let's look at I think we are getting to the end very soon. Let me look at the last slide and I'll talk you through that. So now, returning to the energy part, what I will say is that, as I said, my equation is mass times clarity and courage will give me energy. We all have our strengths. What I will invite all of you to do is to do an audit of your strengths, your experiences, your values, and even your challenges and struggle. This is what you do have. However, this is static. Unless you do get the clarity and the courage, which will help you move to bring the energy that you require. So, how do you get the clarity? The clarity is looking at what is happening in your environment, looking at the season that you find yourself, and deciding, setting the intention that yes, it may not be bright, it may not be favorable, but yes, still there's a silver cloud. And the fears that your mind keeps telling you, the self talk that you have to be cautious, that nothing is worth your while. How can you reframe this? Make sure that your limiting beliefs are toned down to give you that momentum and that motion to produce the energy that you require, because it's the energy that transforms. And without the energy, you will not be able to lead your team and to leave a legacy. So I believe what I want to say is that my heart may function at 30%, but my leadership operates at 100% because I do have the clarity of staying alive. I have the clarity and courage to do what I need to do to be able to get the energy to serve the people that I work with and also my family and the legacy that I want to leave behind. And if I may share the legacy that I want to leave behind, is the fact that I want to be an angel investor. And if I need to be an angel investor, I have to learn and lots of money, right? So I can invest. So now my charge to you is, I would like you to reflect. I would like you to reflect where you are in your transition. Number one, what are the transitions that you are navigating right now? Is it a career change? Is it a health challenge? Is it an organizational shift? Is it a family transition? Put that in the chat and let's see. And number 2, or the second challenge that I have for you, where do you need clarity? What is the uncertainty that is clouding your vision and your decision making? The third reflection is, where do you need courage? What are the limiting beliefs or fears that are holding you back from the next breakthrough that you seek? What I would like to say is, your breakthrough doesn't have to wait. And you all do have opportunities to do so. And the next opportunity with my collaborators at CTL Africa, Mr. Im, with Yalpebi, Doris Ahiati, and Emmeline, we are coming your way again this year with Leave to Lead on the 10th of October 2025. Would you help your team, yourself, people within your network come to learn from world-class leaders, both nationals in Ghana and also beyond? You have this opportunity. Don't let it pass you by. I have gained a lot from attending seminars, attending conferences, learning from these great minds and thought leaders. This is my invitation to you. Will you heed my invitation? So, Uncle Sam, this is my presentation today, and the challenge I am throwing to you as our dedicated audience, and also for you to know that we have come your way every Saturday, really giving of our learning, of our insights. This is a way for you to show support so we can keep on doing this every Saturday, training that we do on the leadership platform. So, Uncle Sam, over to you, and I look forward to your questions and your comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much. We will take a quick break. And when I come, I'm going to summarize my takeaways, lots of takeaway. Get ready, share your takeaways and your questions. Let's take a quick break and come right back to dig in. Is Gideon with us or against us?
Okay. Wait,
All right.
as Gideon is getting ready, I can see Brenda Afari has shared what stage she is. She is in career transition. And
Wonderful.
today's session is very timely and relevant. Okay. Thank
That,
you.
that's great. Please share your transitions, share where you are, and then let's see what's going on in your life. And let's see if this has been useful to you. All right. Okay, so let's see those who are here in the room right now. I can see, and 1 second, let me see those who I can see from here. All right. I can see Joseph Ofosu is here, is following the conversation very well. Abani is here from Nigeria. Foster Bediakon is here. We have Brenda is here. She shared her story. Vivian Ampari is here. Vivian is here. He says, good evening to all. Gloria Naki Apori is here. Kwame JB is here from the UK. Ben Aye is here, joining from UK. Philip Angmore is here from Tema. And Brenda has shared. Cynthia, her leadership, how much does participation in LIVE2LEAD cost? Great presentations, it says. In-person participation, 2,500. It hasn't changed for years. And virtual participation is 1,000 Ghana cedis. All right, let's take a quick break if Gideon is ready. And then I have my summary, and I'll come back to take your questions.
Nobody ever thought their way to success. Nobody ever hoped their way to success. Nobody ever wrote goals on a planner to success. They acted. Action is what attracts. It's the action. It's the movement. People need to hear your story. People need to see your vision. And when you learn to communicate, you pass it on to others, and you help so many people make a difference in the world. So let your dream come out and learn how to communicate it with excellence. Thank you very much. My name is John. I'm your friend. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Good. Sarah, that was great. Let me just quickly summarize my takeaways. And if you're here, share your takeaways as we wait for your questions. I have a number of takeaways, and I'm going to go through them very quickly. The first takeaway for me is change is not the same as transition. Change is external, transition is internal. And for me, this was powerful. In fact, I'm picking this. I mean, this is new learning for me, because change happens to you. It's inevitable. It will happen. But transition is how you process this change. This was great to me. The energy equation, the leadership energy equation, is also powerful to me. Energy equals MC squared. So your energy is accumulation of mass, which is your values, and so on and so forth, plus clarity and courage. This is very, very powerful. So if you can harness your values and clarify your thoughts and gather the courage for action, you will be able to transition effectively. Now, transitions are the stretches of life. How we navigate them shape our identity. And for me, that was also very, very powerful. You have several transitions that you go through, and they happen. But how do you navigate? Whether it is a death you're translating, whether it's the divorce you're going through, whether it is whatever change you are going through, how you navigate this transition would give you your identity. And Sarah, that was powerful. We see you today and all that you are doing. I mean, internationally, the people you're coaching and so on, to know that you're just functioning with 30% of your heart, it's just powerful. I mean, that alone, the image of, your heart is, we are having 100% heart function and we are not doing anything. That's amazing and amazing. It shows the type of identity. The fourth takeaway for me is that you need to recognize the seasons. Your energy level, your energy levels determines your leadership presence. I mean, that was also really powerful because if your energy is low, you will not be able to make the impact you need to gather yourself. And then you said, number five for me, breakthroughs happen when breakthroughs happen when your should moves to your must. And you perfectly illustrated this with how you walk. And I know Sarah. Sarah walks 10,000 steps every day. 10,000 steps every day. And I call her the youngest old lady. I won't tell you her age as she's sitting there, but she's so disciplined because she knows where her heart is, and she has to walk 10,000 steps every day to be able to keep the energy. Breakthroughs happen when your should move to your mass. This was really good. Of course, I like also the 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 levels that you shared with us, the state, the story, and the strategy. And you said change your state and your story first, and effective strategy will naturally follow. This is actually very, very powerful because sometimes we are trying to, and me myself, recently I'm going through certain things and I'm looking for what can I what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? But now I recognize that what I can do is being affected by the stories that I'm telling myself in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing that, okay, as you were talking, I was saying to myself, oh, yeah, Kofi, I think you have to change your stories. And I think this is very, very helpful to me. I need to change the stories in my head. And I think once I do that, I don't even
Yeah.
need any strategy. I think changing the story in your mind is actually the strategy. I love this. Change your state and your story first. An effective strategy to follow. Very often we are hampered by our story in our mind. Then the seventh point, I think I have 8 points. Guys, share yours with us. It says that in transitions, effective leaders call on different aspects of themselves.
Yeah.
You call on different aspects of themselves: the warrior, the magician, the lover, and the sage. And this is very, 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 was very, very powerful also for me in transition. When you are transitioning at every stage, you need to know where you are and which aspects, whether you want to be a warrior, you want to fight on, or you want to be creative as a magician, you want to be empathetic, or you want to be a wise, wise, wise person. And the last point for me from this great presentation is the reflection questions that Sarah gave us. And these are very powerful reflection questions. What are your transitions now? Where do you need clarity? And where do you need courage? Guys, I've summarized my takeaways. What are your takeaways also? All right. Nanaba says, well done, mom. That was good. And Tete Junior says, great presentation. I joined in late at the ending stage. I appreciate the efforts of freely sharing these vital leadership skills for our development. God continue to provide for the organization as you also feed us freely. Yes, thank you so very much. We also appreciate. I've already said my takeaway is the three S's: the state, story, and strategy. All right. Now, any questions? I don't see any questions, but let me come and Sarah,
Yes.
I think I just want you to share with us a bit, throw more light with your story on the stories that were going through your mind. Now you wake up in the morning. I mean, the doctors make a wrong diagnosis. You get a heart attack. You go into the theater. You come up with a pacemaker in your heart, and I believe it is still there. Have they removed it?
No.
It's still there. The pacemaker is still in your heart. I mean, these are the facts you can't run away from. What was the story in your mind? And help us understand how these factual, these stories, you were able to actually translate them into a different story that is keeping you going for 5 years. Not just going, but going at top speed. I mean, sometimes, I have to call you and say, Sarah, slow down, get some things off your plate. But tell us, because for me, I'm really interested in that, because that is where most of us, I mean, the people in Ghana today, we have people whose parents just perished in a plane crash. I mean,
Yeah.
lately the whole nation is mourning. Some of us, maybe on this platform, our marriages are shaking, or we're losing people we love. Some of us, our children are growing, and now they are making decisions which are different from the values we set for them. All this. How did you translate these stories into what story that is keeping you going like this? I mean, I want you to throw a bit more light on that.
Okay. Sam, the thing is that it comes in waves, right? It came in waves. That's what I'll say. It came in waves. For example, when I was on the operating, before I was taken onto the operating table, what the doctors told me exactly what they were going to do: remove the heart, put me to sleep, okay, put me to sleep, and then when they've done whatever they have to do, put a heart in and try to resuscitate me, but they couldn't guarantee. Those were the words. We cannot guarantee, but we'll do our best. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the words I heard. And they said, okay, so if you want us to go ahead, you have to sign.
Wow. And you knew you were going to sign your death
Okay.
certificate.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You have to sign to give us permission to do what we need to do. At that time, my mind was blank. Okay.
Wow.
So after 4.5 hours, 5 hours, I came out of the theater and I was still alive. So first
Wow.
thing that was going through my mind was, Father, I thank you. I'm grateful. It was gratitude just to
Wow.
be alive. That was all that was on my mind, gratitude.
Wow.
Then, as the days went by, I started thinking and got angry. Yes, I was very angry that I spotted the signs early. I went to see two doctors, okay, two doctors, and they were not able to diagnose. It was the third doctor when I was losing oxygen that really came to, yeah. So I was angry, very, very angry. How can, I mean, two doctors not see
Mm.
what's happening to me? Okay. But then I started calming down a little bit. I said, okay, so you are here. It has happened to you. How can this be a lesson
Mm.
for the doctor so that it doesn't happen to other women or any other patient? So that was what the anger that I reframed, saying, how can I be of service to other
Wow.
people so it doesn't happen? But I was very, very angry for a long time. And I did receive counseling. I had to
Yeah.
go in, yeah, to walk the
Yeah.
steps. I did receive counseling. Actually, the counseling that I did receive, I was going to do it for my church. I had signed
Mm.
up, and then COVID hit. So they had
Mm.
to cancel. And during the COVID season, that's when I had the crisis.
COVID.
Okay. That's when I had a crisis. So when they reinstated the course, I did it for me, not for the church or for my.
Wow.
So that was what really helped me to reframe. And I had to really take an audit, write things down. It was a week long in person, limited, restricted. I wasn't too well, but that was the first time I drove. That was
Wow.
the first time I drove, that I had to drive to France in and out for 5 days. And I did it. But yeah, I did not finish because in between I had a crisis and I had to go back into hospital. Okay.
Yeesh.
Yeah, I had to go back.
Wow.
I had to go back into hospital. So 3 months after, I went and I completed it. So those processes, that counseling really helped me
Yeah.
navigate
Yeah.
all the emotions that were going on within me. I put it down on paper, and
Yeah.
being a person of faith,
Yeah.
one of the processes was to go to the altar
Mm-hmm.
when you're ready, to lay it down at the altar and have that conversation with God. So it
Mm-hmm.
was a deep and inner work that I did.
Wow. Wow. Now, I mean, this is very instructive. And guys, if you are angry, it is normal because you have to go through the Sarah. So incidentally, that's your name. You have to go through the shock, get the angry, and then
Mhm.
the rejection, and then you come back to acceptance. But in all that process, I think the other point you made about counseling is very important.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're going through things and we are talking to the wrong people. You need to get professional help when
Hmm.
you are at these stages in your life in transitions. Please get professional help, people who are trained to help you go through the pain, to go through the stages. That is how you learn. Don't talk to people who will worsen the story in your head. Sometimes the story in your head is the one killing you, and they are affirming it and they say, yeah, 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 go do that. Yes, yes, yes. But that will not help you. So, Sarah, that is very, very good. And Abeni says, wonderful presentation. Ma, I'm proud to learn about the danger of strategizing without recognizing yourself state, knowing your story. Okay. Also, I'm happy to know about the archetypes of leadership style. Good. And Abba says, to God be the glory. All right. Sarah, thank you so very much.
Most
I am
welcome.
not seeing any more
Yeah,
questions.
I see something from Joseph saying, great presentation. My question is, there is
Oh,
this
okay.
head of department that comes to work showing clear signs of tiredness. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do
Mm-hmm.
I politely convince this individual to radiate positive energy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, Joseph, thank you for this question. How do you
Mm-hmm.
approach this person? Okay, Joseph, what I normally do is actually, since this crisis, I don't just ask people how they are. I
Mm-hmm.
just go to the person and I look at the person, good morning or whatever. And what I say is, how are you today? And I look in the person's eye and just see, look in the person's eye is the mirror to their soul. And as a coach, what I normally do is I sense whatever I sense. I said, do I have permission to share with you what I'm sensing? If the person says yes, I said, I sense you look a little bit tired today. Is there anything I can do to help you? Or what is the help that you need? So for this person, are you close to him? Or if you are not, who is the person who may be in your circle of influence who can approach her and check in with her? Is there a friend? You can do it yourself if you're close to her, or you can work through someone who is within your circle of influence. Sam, I don't
Yeah.
know what you think about it. What if you've come across something of this nature?
Yeah. Sarah, thank you so much. And you are up. Very often, people come to work with lots of burdens, and the work environment does not usually make room for people to share their problems. And I tell people all the time, Look, you cannot, as a leader, you cannot say you don't care about people's personal problems. It is important for you to gauge the environment as a leader. But more importantly, like John Maxwell would say, the leader is a thermostat. Your role is to help change the way people are feeling. And we can do this by what Sarah is saying, by empathizing. Sometimes we become a bit judgmental. We are thinking, why is he this? Why can't he do this? Why? But people are going through things. So getting them at a good place and just showing love and asking what you can help, like Sarah has suggested, actually is very, very important. Now, this should be done at a private session. It shouldn't be when you have an open office. If this person, if you can invite him to your office, if he's at a level you can invite him to your office. If not, if you can go to his office, if he's maybe a bit more senior, if he's a colleague, go to and find a good environment. Ask for permission. Don't just go and say, I want to talk to you. Just ask for permission to be able to come in. Is it a good time? Do I have your permission to share what I'm observing with you briefly? And can I have 2 minutes of your time to share with you? Ask for permission. Are you able to talk at this time? Is it a good time to talk? It's very important that that the time that you choose is appropriate to the conversation, and so that the person is ready. Because if the person has some deadline to meet, he has from where you are seeing him, the boss, he has to deliver a report in the next 1 hour, and she's finalizing it, and you go, the person will not be able. So let him give you the right time where you can do it. So I agree with you, Sarah. That was very, very apt. All right. So, Mom, you are very courageous and determined. In the moment of your weakness, you still strive to drive some distance for counseling. Such a resilient mom. You have
Thank
a
you.
heart for God. Thank you very much. That is Tete Junior. All
Thank you.
right, sir.
Yeah.
I think at this point, I'll give you the stage to share your final thoughts. And we want to thank you so much. This was powerful. And I believe that many, many, many people have learned from this. So over to you, Jolati.
Okay, thank you so much. So, thank you all for your comments and your questions. And all that I can say is that the sciences have shown us that transitions are universal, okay, and formative. They really inform the way that we live, we have to live, and to navigate life. There are tools that exist, and I have shared some with you. And please, please do take them up and master them. And you have seen from my own story that you don't need perfect circumstances to lead with energy and purpose. All I'm asking is the real question that I'm going to ask you is whether you will face transition. Yes, you will. But the question is, will they break you down or will you break through? And my hope is that you will break through. So thank you so much for having me today. And I look forward to seeing all of you at Live2Lead, whether virtually or in person on the 10th of October. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Sarah. And I want to thank everybody who's been able to make it. Once again, I want to encourage everybody, go to live2leadghana.com and please register. If you need to discuss, please reach out to me, to any of the team members. Feel free to reach out. If you need us to send a letter to your HR, to your boss, to bring more people into the room, the registration is open. It is on the 10th of October. Live to Lead is on the 10th of October. The theme is Leading for Wealth and Prosperity. And we have amazing people coming to share. We have Dr. Sam Jonah, who will come and share his story with us. We have lawyer David Dote of ABNB. He was there last year, and it was amazing. People love his presentation. You don't want to miss him. We have Nora Bannerman, a woman industrialist who braves everything through the storm to make it. You don't want to miss that story too. John Maxwell will of course be there, and many other speakers. Great lessons, powerful energy in the room. Be there in the room. Live to Lead is on the 10th of October, and it's a whole day. Take the day off. It's a Friday, and come sit at the feet, network with like-minded people, great leaders in the room, great speakers in the room. Please make a date. It's only 2,500. You have lunch, and you would have lots of lessons. If you want to connect, if you're far away, anywhere in the world, and you want to connect, you can join Live to Lead also virtually, and you have the same experience on the virtual platform. It's a specialized, dedicated platform that gives you all the energy from the room, and you have the recording on the live platform for 4 more days after the event to be able to go through the lessons. So please kick in, register now, and until we see you on the 10th at Live to Lead at the Chartered Institute of Bankers Auditorium. It's been the leadership platform brought to you by CTL Africa Leadership, and I'm out of here. Thank you very much. God bless you. Good night.
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025.
All right. Good. All right. So
We're still live.
Yes. Oh, we are still live? Okay. Let me end the stream. Where is it? It's not ending now.
And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now.